Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Today on The Real Female Entrepreneurs, we're spotlighting a woman who's rewriting the rule book on success, one simplified, soul aligned strategy at a time. She is a seven-figure business builder turned burnout buster who now helps online service providers ditch the hustle and finally enjoy the freedom they started their business for. With 20 plus years of experience and zero tolerance for cookie cutter advice, she guides entrepreneurs to build profitable businesses that they actually fit into their lives, not fight them. You know what? She's all about less grind and more glow. So, yes, please bring that on for me because I so need it. Help me say a hello to the freedom focused, strategy savvy, and wildly impactful Gina Trick. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you. Oh my God, you're so amazing. I love the fact that you're not cookie cutter. I love the fact that you are bursting out all of those things that we do with our laptop on, with our computer and laptop on us at what, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, doing crazy stuff. I love the fact that it's all about fitting our lives into our business and making it happen.
Yeah, I always start with the life first. So when people come to me as a business strategist, they're always shocked that the first thing that I say is, "What do you want your life to look like?" And they're like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "Well, we need to know what your life looks like so we can build a business to support it." And they're always a bit shocked by that.
No, but that's true. You have to like finagle that. But what got you into that? I mean, something had to happen. Come on, you had to burst something, something had to blow up, or something for you to be focused on this main business strategy for us, for female entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs as a whole.
Yeah, so about 9 years ago, I set up a wedding and events company, and we had the contract to run a wedding venue. So we took it on when it had very, very few weddings booked. It was about to close, it wasn't doing very well at all. And we turned it around and we're turning over seven figures within the first year. So I worked about 90 hours a week and was I was a product of my own success because I decided to do things differently and bring a really personal edge to the wedding. And so people were coming to the venue and they loved the venue, but they also decided to fall in love with me and said, "Right, we're booking because we want you to look after our wedding. We want you to be there. We want you because you're my passion and everything." So once we got so successful and you've got a couple of hundred weddings on the book who all want you there on the day, and you're kind of like just running around. So we're about 2 years in, and I woke up one morning and I literally couldn't speak. I I thought I'd had a stroke, and it was about for 20 minutes, and that was it. But it was really scary. And when I saw the doctor, it turned out that I actually had burnout. And when people talk about burnout, they talk about being frazzled, about being tired, but proper burnout means that your body has such little energy that it shuts down parts that it doesn't need. So obviously it needs your heart to pump your blood, it needs your lungs for your oxygen. So it's like, what do I not actually need? So it decided that it didn't need speech for me because there just wasn't enough energy to run my body. So obviously I'd hit that real stage. And I would love to say at that point I went, right, things need to change. But it was about 6 months later when I finally actually listened to my body and I decided to sell the business, which was really hard for me because obviously I felt like I was letting down my clients and things. But about 2 days after the sale went through, that went, and I've just felt utter relief.
You probably
So,
just went, oh, then I can breathe, I can talk without
I can sleep a little bit, you know?
I could, yeah. Well, I had no life. I was missing people, like friends' birthdays, weddings, like, christenings. I was like missing everything. And even though everybody was like, oh my God, you've got this 7-figure business, you're driving around in a Range Rover, you've got the luxury handbags, etc., etc. I was miserable. I was not happy because I had no life. I loved what I was doing. I loved my couples, and I really did. But other than that, I had no life. So then when I left, I saw so many other people doing that same thing, like, the hustle, hustle, hustle. And I was like, there's got to be another way. Like, we can't always do this. So I decided to use me as an experiment. And when I set up, so this is 7 years ago now, set up my coaching business, I was like, I'm not going to hustle. I'm not going to work all the hours. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to see whether I can actually build my business without working all the hours. And I've done that with literally the help from 2 VAs who are part-time. And I work 25 hours a week max.
Wow. Yay. And you can teach us how to do that, correct?
Oh, this is what I do all the time. We get rid of all of the stuff, all the shoulds. This is what I hate. You should do this. You should do that. There is no shoulds. We get rid of all of that. We'll find the stuff that you enjoy. We focus in on that, because if you enjoy it, you do it quicker. You don't procrastinate. You don't put it off. And then we'll leverage tools such as AI and all the technology that is not scary. This is like, even if you're a technophobe, we can get through that. And we'll leverage all of that just to make things as clear, as easy as possible, so that you're actually doing things that you love, you're turning up, and you're getting rid of all those bits. Because if you're doing things you don't enjoy and that you don't align with, like I say, you're going to procrastinate. It's going to take you longer. It's not your zone of genius, and you're just wasting time, and it's not going to work for you. So we'll get rid of all of that, and we'll just focus on all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And you told me earlier that it's like your biggest question is how do you want your life to look, right? How do you want to live your life? I thought that was a phenomenal question.
Yeah. And it's different. So some people will come to me and they're happy to work 40 to 50 hours a week because they're happy with that, and they can still have their life around that. Other people, they've got either elderly parents that they're caring for, or they've got kids, or they've got, somebody that's got special needs or something. And like their time's different. And so this is why it's so important of like what you want your life to look like. We get told these versions of success where you see people flying around on private jets and in yachts, and and that doesn't always look like success for everybody else. It's about what we actually want, and not just following somebody else's version. Like some clients come to me and they'll go, I do want a multi-6-figure business. And I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Others come to us and go, you know what? I used to earn like 80 grand a year in my corporate. If I can earn that, but work less hours than I did in my corporate, that's my version of success. So everybody's different. And that's why it's so important to actually look at what you actually want your life to look like. Because people start building their businesses, and before they know it, all they've done is build themselves another job. They're just doing that same grind. And they're just, because that's what everybody else does. And it's time to stop just following that. Just because other people do it, it doesn't mean we have to. Like when I was a kid, my mom used to say to me, like, oh, if they jumped off a cliff, would you? And it's that sort of thing. We just go, oh, well, they do it in this way, so therefore we must have to do it. And it's like, there's so many ways to build a business. And there's so many different ways you can do it to fit it around you and your life, that we have to stop this thing. And there's also the guilt. People go, oh, you only work 25 hours. I'm like, yeah, and I'm proud of it. I don't want that badge of honor of like, I'm half killing myself to set a business up, because we've got to get rid of that as well. Like, it doesn't have to be hard work. It can be work, but we can enjoy it. It doesn't have to feel like a grind and a slog. And that's where we need to change perceptions.
But that 25 hours, I think when you say I work 25 hours, it's a total focus, 25 hours on your zone of genius, which actually it probably feels like only 10 hours.
But this is the thing. So Mondays and Fridays, I don't do any client work. They're my days for me. So that's working on me, working on the business, developing things. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I deal with like my clients. And I absolutely love those days, because an hour disappears. An hour with my clients is such a pleasure. It just disappears. And because I love what I do, and I love the conversations I'm having, everything just feels like it disappears. It would be very, very easy for me to work longer hours because I enjoy it so much. So I set alarms. I've got alarms that go off on my phone to go, right, now it's time for your lunch break. Now it's time to take the dog for a walk. Do you know, like, go and have a 10-minute break. So I've got those on my phone to make sure that I don't cross over, because I could go down the rabbit hole and be sat here till 10 o'clock at night on my laptop, no problem. But I make sure that I don't do that now.
Yeah. And I mean, balance is just not even in the picture for you, because your life is created around what you want it to be, to give you that freedom and flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, just for instance, Tuesday, I went to a big conference in Newcastle, and it's normally a 15-minute drive from my house, but it was during rush hour traffic. So it took an hour. And I sat in the car, just sitting in this pure traffic jam, looking at all the exasperated faces and just the resignation. And I thought, this is a one-off for me, but this is normal. This is every day, week in, week out for them. They're sitting in traffic for an hour every day, each way. I was like, what a waste of your life if you don't enjoy that. And I just thought, how lucky am I that I haven't had to do that for so long, that's just a now and again thing, and that I get to choose how to spend my time.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think I have to try the 25-hour work week.
Honestly, it's a revelation, because if you know what you're doing and you plan it all out, I use time blocking because that just works for me. Different people use different things, but it just means that I go in and I'm focused and I'm like, right, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. And like, I'm very lucky that I kind of super focus. So I just get on and I do something. And I've always been that way. But I've got clients who are neurodiverse that find that really hard. But we find different working ways that work for them. And we just trial a few little things until we figure out. And then they're like, oh my God, actually, I can do things much quicker now. And it's finding that little key of what works for you in order to get that productivity at that level, so that yes, the hours that you've got are really, really productive. So then you don't have to do all those wasteful things.
Yeah, definitely. Besides that, working less and delegating and using strategies like that, what other advice do you have for women who are trying to grow their business and might be struggling a little bit?
I would say it's so easy to do, like, the shiny object syndrome. Everybody's out there saying, my way will fix all your problems. It's the silver bullet if you come and do this thing. And it's really easy to get pulled in, because we are very, very clever marketers. Like, I sell, so I market things and I tell people, but I hope that I'm a little bit more open in the fact that I always say, like, if it is a proven method, I'm sick of proven methods, but a proven method, it will work, but not for everybody. Like, every method's proven, every method works, but you've got to ask yourself, is this actually aligned with me? Is this something I'm going to enjoy? Are they teaching something that I actually going to do? Or is there something in there? Is it going to make me go ick? And therefore I'm not going to do it. So it's a waste of my time and a waste of my money. And every single thing, so every opportunity that comes along for me, I don't just think about like a money investment. I think of a time investment as well. And then I think, like, what's the outcome? What it's going to be? Is it like in alignment with who I am, what I enjoy, what I want to do? Also, you've set yourself what your goals are. So like, when you're growing your business, you can't have like just grow your business. You need to have like 3 normally specific goals. So like for me this year, it was a case of like more speaking gigs, growing my audience, and making more sales, which I know sounds daft, but it's that simple. But it's like, right, so then everything, I ask myself, is it going to do one of those 3 things? Is it going to actually get me on speaking more? Is it going to get me like to grow my audience, or is it going to get me more sales? And if it's not, I think, well, I can shelve that idea or shelve that opportunity, because even though people tell you it's the only time this is happening, fine well they're going to do it again. So it's things like that, and just taking your time to think about everything. So don't just jump on everything. Actually, just remember that every opportunity that comes along, everything that's presented to you, just take that moment to think about those things. Like I say, is it in alignment? Is it going to work with who I am? Is it going to fit my business? Like, is the time and the money investment right for me? And is it going to take me towards one of those goals that I've set for the self? And that's what I get my clients to do. And half the time they're like, oh, this thing sounded amazing. But actually, when I asked those questions, it was like, no.
Yeah, it sounds good, but what's it really going to do for me? Is it going to add more time to me? Is it going to save more time? What is it going to do for me? I love that.
Mhm.
And I love the 3 questions. Matter of fact, we have an article about that we talk about. And it's all about that. What are your 3 main areas of life? And does what you're getting ready to do, does it fit? So I love that. That goes hand in hand.
Good minds think alike.
The brainiacs, what can we say? All right. Knowing what you've learned so far in business, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh God, be more confident, like trust yourself and trust your own intuition. I spent far too much time trying to be somebody that I wasn't because I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So even
Mm.
to the point when I first started coaching, I decided that nobody on the internet sounded like me. Nobody had a Geordie accent. So I decided that I wasn't going to have a Geordie accent. And I ended up taking on a client for 3 months and having to hide my Geordie accent for all of that time. And you can imagine how much hard work that is when you've got a 1 hour call once a week for 3 months with somebody. And everything I did online, I was trying to speak differently because I thought nobody is going to take me seriously with a broad Geordie accent. Like nobody is going to, think that this is all right. So that is even me. If you think that's only 7 years ago, I was still in that. I wasn't confident in my own skin or who I was. So now I would tell myself, like, trust yourself, trust who you are, just actually embrace who you are, because these things like your accent make you who you are, they make you different, and that's what makes you stand out online. Like, as much as everybody says about niching or niching, as you like to say in the US, we say niching over here because we're a little bit posh. But if if you think about it, every niche now has got a lot of people in it. But what's going to make you stand out is you, who you are, your stories, your personality, how you say things, how you talk. Like that is what makes you different, because nobody can ever be you. So I would really say embrace yourself. Just be confident. And like, it doesn't matter. Even if you make yourself really vanilla, people are still going to hate you. They're going to send those horrible messages. It's going to happen because you can sit on the fence as much as you want and somebody will still disagree with you. So you might as well be you and just say things as you see them, as long as you're not being deliberately like nasty or, sort of. I always sort of say there's a way of saying things where you can say your opinion without crossing a line. But don't be afraid to sort of say like what I say about, all of these online courses where they'll get 1,000 people sign up for a course. And it's like, oh, if you signed up for this course, this is going to change your life. And it's like, well, actually, only 50% of you will probably finish the course. And out of that 50%, it'll probably only work for 50% of them. So actually 25%, so that's 250 out of the 1,000. It might change your life if you're lucky. But I'm saying that, and obviously these big course creators are like, you can't say things, but I'm like, that's my opinion. I'm happy to say that. You can disagree with me, that's not a problem, but that's what I think. And I think like we've got to say these things because otherwise there's no point. Like, you're not actually going to make any difference. So yeah, definitely be comfortable in your own skin. I do think it's helped as you age, you do get that a little bit more, but I still think that we just need to embrace it as much as possible. Like, just be happy with who you are.
So you're talking about numbers. I'm a number girl, and I believe that the numbers are the numbers, and there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
So if 1,000 people sign up, I'm probably thinking only 10 are going to move forward totally.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah,
It's a
and
numbers game.
but it's all clever marketing, because obviously they want as many people to sign up as possible. But you can't think that if you're getting taught one generic thing, like one way of doing it, it's going to work for everybody, because it's not. And this is the thing, and this is what I'm very passionate about saying now, because I've seen so many people burned with generic online courses. And I don't mean that they don't work. They do for some. It's just knowing that and working out whether it's actually going to work for you before you go and invest. So I'm not saying don't go and do them. I'm not saying they haven't got a place. I'm just saying there needs to be more thought behind them.
Right. I mean, do you have the time? Are you the person that is going to understand? Is it going to fit in one of the 3 areas that you just talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the time to do it? I mean, yeah, I agree 100%. Mhm. All right. So, what is a key strategy that has helped you advance in your business? Well, I'm going to add this caveat to you if it's okay.
Mhm.
Um, that maybe you've done that other people have said, "Oh no, don't do that. That's not going to work." But you did it anyway, and it did.
So this is a nice controversial one. I didn't niche or niche. I don't have, I did for a little while, don't get us wrong. I called myself a client attraction strategist because I was like trying to fit in a box and say what I did. But I decided that I don't fit in a box. That's not me. I am my niche. It's like, it's who I am. It's how I do things. It's how I talk. It's my story. And I didn't want to just be known for just client attraction because I was helping people with so much more. And so people were like, you can't just be a business strategist. And I was like, why not? Like, well, there's thousands and thousands. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but there's nobody who is me. There is nobody that's had my life experience. There's nobody that's had my business past. There's nobody that's been through everything I have. And there's definitely nobody that speaks like me. So it's like, I was just like, I am not going to niche. And so I have clients who before they've come to me, they've spent weeks, if not months. What do I call myself? How do I introduce myself? I help statement. And I'm just like, we don't want an I help statement. Do you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes it's just better to just say what you do dead easily, like how you introduce yourself. So I've now got an I am. So I am the strategist, I say, that people come to when they're sick of the hustle, when they need a clear strategy, and when they're done with following other people's rules and need to find what works for them. That's it. So I just decided I am done with the niching. I'm just it ties people up. If you are specific and you can go, yeah, I do sales, or I do like I'm a brand person. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough if you fit into one straight away, but some people don't, and that's all right.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I have had trouble with that my whole entire life because I'm a lot like you. I've done a lot of things and and I do know that I love working with female entrepreneurs. That's my niche.
Mhm.
Beyond that, I'm open game. Ask
Yeah.
away. I probably experienced it. I'm old enough to be your mom, you know? So reality, that's what it is.
Yep, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Definitely. I love it. I love it. I love this like authentic conversation. It's just real and it's just what we believe. All right.
Yep.
I need you to share any future plans that you have that we need to keep an eye out on for.
So I have set myself a big target of being on some big stages. I'm not quite at Mel Robbins yet, but that is yet. I
Ooh.
mean, I'm saying at some point in the future. But yeah, being on big stages, and also I don't do anything specific around AI at the minute. I use a lot of AI within my business and with my clients, but I'm developing an online course. This is people will be going, you've just said online courses don't work. It is an online course of how to use AI within online service-based businesses, but it's lots of different ways within the course so that you can choose which bits you want to use, which bits you don't, and you can figure out like which parts it'll work for you in your business. So it's very much a case of lots of different strategies. And it's something new for me because I haven't kind of done just that. So yeah, that's coming hopefully at the end of the summer. I'm sort of working on it now.
Yay! So it'll be available once this airs. So that'll be exciting. Yay.
Definitely.
All right. So if you had a superpower for just 24 hours, one day, what would it be?
Oh, I'd love to be invisible. So if I was invisible, it meant that I would be able to get into places, like into rooms that at the moment are probably a little bit closed off for us, but like be surrounded. So I was really lucky to meet Vishen, the Mind Valley founder, a few weeks ago. And just to be in a room with somebody like him, like what you learn and like the conversations that I had. So yeah, just to kind of be able to sneak into those rooms, with these big founders who have sort of done what I want to do and been sort of there, I would love to go and sort of spend a little bit of time with them, and just, like I say, sneak in. Do you know, like when people, so somebody else I met had just been on Necker Island with Richard Branson, and just, you know, these little things where you're going, oh, I'd love to do that in the future. If I was invisible, being able to sneak into those places now and just, you know, have those conversations going on and just being able to listen in would be amazing.
Wow, too bad we couldn't had 2, teleport to where you want with being invisible.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I would work out where they were. I'd be quite good at trying to get to the right places in one day.
All right. What's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
Oh God, I'm trying to think of a fun fact. It's not really fun. I dated a Premiership footballer when I was 20, and so I
Wait,
got
what
to
did
see.
you do when you were 20? Wait, what?
I dated a Premiership footballer. So in the UK, soccer, obviously, and
Yeah.
I've got to call it football here. I'm sorry,
That's
I know.
okay. You're good. They have the
Oh
deal.
yes. So he was a Premiership footballer so I dated him, and that opened up when I was age of 20, a whole different world. So I got to see what it was like to be rich and famous at that age. And I think that that's what made me so grounded, because I realized that it wasn't everything that everybody thinks it is, and that it's actually not always great. And like, I was really lucky that with him, he loved playing football, and it wasn't about the money or anything. He said that if he didn't have the money, as long as he played every week, he'd be happy. And so he didn't live this ridiculously lavish life on purpose. But yeah, it kind of opened up, like I say, like meeting different people. So like I met a lot of famous footballers and things, and seeing behind the curtains. And I just think, like, for me, yeah, it was like, it made me realize that, like I say, fame, fortune, success isn't what everybody else paints it to be.
Yeah, they still have that little boring life that we all leave that nobody really wants to talk about, that we do come home at night late at night working still, or we're home having real life or whatever. And
Yeah.
they idolize the fact that they're at these parties or they're doing this or they're doing that. If they are, it's usually a charity event that they're required to be at sometimes.
Yeah, and just stupid things like going out for a meal. You every 5 seconds somebody's coming up asking for an autograph. You can't just sit and enjoy your meal. Like one day he wanted a new pair of trainers, and we're parked 5 minutes away from where the shop was, and it took 2 hours just to buy a new pair of trainers because of, like, you know, and back then, not being funny, but obviously this is like, God, 25 years ago. It wasn't like, you know, you couldn't get like trainers delivered the next day like you can now, you know. So if you wanted them, you had to literally go to the shop. And honestly, 2 hours just to go and buy a pair of trainers, people didn't see that side of things, like just simple things that you wanted to do, like how hard it actually was.
Yeah. My nephew is a professional baseball player, so I get that. Also, it helps you look at reality. And so because of what we do, we are in rooms like that, that people do know us sometimes, then they're all like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," and they're all coming after you. But it makes you, because you've had that experience and you do know, and, you know, most of us or speak at events and people know us, it makes you take a step back and realize that, okay, you're just a person. Well, however, you know, they wanna talk to you because of whatever purpose, guys,
Yeah.
it is. But just understanding that and knowing that you have success in their eyes, but in our eyes, we're probably just like, "Okay, where's the popcorn and the, the remote?"
Exactly. Yeah. So it was definitely like a really eye-opening experience.
So let's take this. And I'm just gonna jump forward because you've been on some heavy speaking stages lately, some big people, and there are a few more that you're going to be going on this year before the end of the year. Explain that to our audience, if you don't mind. How I mean, people are coming up to you, they're talking to you. How do you take a step back from that and realize that, okay, yeah, I'm popular here for this, but my reality is this. Do you mind explaining that?
I just kind of think like I'm grateful for the opportunities. So I like think like, right, that's one sort of side of things. But it's kind of like, I don't know, I've got kind of, you know what I mean? Like you have your outfits and things like that, and that's that person. And it's not that I'm a different person. It's just like, right, that's kind of like me out meeting people, talking to people. And then I just need like afterwards, I need that quiet time. So, you know, when you come home and you just have like, right, we're being quiet now, we're just kind of decompressing from it, and you know your social media is popping off and you just kind of silence your phone. And I think it's just having that little bit of time in between. But I always just think like I'm really grateful for that opportunity, so that like, you know, when people come over and like, oh, I follow you on Instagram, or you know, like, oh, we're connected on LinkedIn, or I saw you here, you know, listen to that podcast, you were really good, or like I've seen your training and it really helped, you're just like, that's amazing that I actually get to impact people's lives. I actually get to have that positive impact. So I just like to say, yeah, I take those moments of being like, right, I'm grateful, but then make sure I've got that calm downtime, like binge watch something on Netflix, you know, totally switch off. And I love anything to do with serial killers. So I'm a little bit weird that way. And that's my switch off. A bit of Criminal Minds or something.
So I love the fact you brought up costumes because, you know, one of my things I love teaching image, clothing, personality for women so they can step into who they are. But I also believe that every outfit you put on is a costume because you are depicting who you are at that minute, in
Yeah.
that moment. So what you're wearing now is not something you're going to wear on stage.
Yep.
And so, your personality with me is a lot what you're gonna have on stage, but there's some tweaks in there because they're different things that you're talking about and different things, communication, how you're
Yeah.
communicating with people.
Like
And
obviously
so
when it's like, yeah, it's a conversation. And I do like when I'm sort of teaching or sort of talking, I do try and make it conversational. So, but you can't have a two-way properly when you're sort of on stage or training, because otherwise you'd be there forever. So it's that sort of thing. So yeah, it has to be slightly different, yeah.
yeah, and I love it. So it's just a costume. Like I told somebody, I used to own a dance in school. If you want to be a penguin, you're not wearing a duck costume. You're wearing a penguin costume.
Yep.
All right. What so we learned a fun fact. I love it. What about books? Do you have any books that or book that you just love that has impacted you?
So everybody's reading this at the minute, but I've just finished Mel Robbins' Let Them, which everybody is a phenomenon. But I would say the book that I keep going back to, it's actually sitting on my shelf right behind us. So it's Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. And I
I've
love
never
it.
heard of it. Wait, diarrhea?
So, diary of
Diarrhea.
that's the, they say that the Geordie accent makes it. So Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. So you know how you've got Shark Tank? We've got something called Dragon's Den, and he's one of the people on there, but he's only 30 years old. And he's got what he's done in his life is amazing. And when he wrote this book, it's 33 laws for life. And each one is life or business. So you can go and you can just pick it up, and depending on what's happening, there'll be a chapter that's right for that moment that makes you think. And what he says is very, very, like, you know, when you're thinking, like, for a 30-year-old, he writes like a 60-year-old that's lived one hell of a life. He's got so much introspection, like just the knowledge and things like that. So I love that book. And it, like I say, it's just got so many things. And I love books you can pick up and put down as well, and you can go back to.
I love that. I can't wait to get it. It's diary. Thank you. Okay.
You'll love it, like that it's being called like something else. I was like, oh dear.
All right. What about a favorite song?
Oh, so this was everywhere in the UK. I don't know whether it was as big in America, but Post Malone, I Had Some Help. It's a country and western song with a pop tune to it. So Post Malone's an American, like, I don't know whether he's a pop star or a country star, but literally that song came out, I think it was last summer. And when it comes on, it's not anything to do with business or motivation. It's just got such a catchy tune that it literally just makes me kind of like, you can't help singing and dancing to it. And you know, when something just like, for me, it's a melody. It's like, I love anything like Cher, just like Jesse James. Every time, I absolutely love that. But it's got to have that tune to it. Can you see there's a bit of a country theme as well? Both of those are a bit countrified. But like, yeah, anything with a really good tune, with a good beat to it that you can actually sing along to, because I love to sing in the car when nobody else is with me. I have my music turned up, my sunglasses on, and I'll sing. Anybody driving past us probably thinks I'm mad because I sing it full belt. And yeah, anything with a really good beat. But yeah, Post Malone at the minute is definitely one of my tunes.
So I drive a red Mini Cooper with the stripes, and so much fun. So my music is always blaring. So I'm always jamming. So I totally get it. And I'm usually dancing in the car too while I'm driving. And I know, and I live close to an interstate, like a big interstate. So I drive on a big interstate a lot. So I know these guys in these trucks, usually I know they're looking at me. What's this like girl doing?
Luckily, so I've got a big black 4x4 and it's got tinted windows. So luckily, most people probably don't see, but it's my dream. You know, the big, huge GMCs? That's what I would love, but we don't do anything that big in the UK. You can't get anything that big. So I'm trying to get, the bigger the better, you see, for me, and the big cars. But yeah, so luckily with the tinted windows, I probably get away with it a little bit more than... But I think I've got a private number plate as well. So anybody that sees us doing it, they'll know it's me.
All right. What about a favorite quote or quotes?
Right, so I'm going to read this out so I don't get it wrong. So this is by Richard Branson, who I just think like he's phenomenal, because like the fact that he left school with no qualifications and what he's done and the way that he does things in business, like I just love the fact that he puts communities first and things. He doesn't just go and sort of walk all over, but he says a business is simply an idea to make other people's lives better. And I love that, because I think that's everybody that gets into business. There's very few of us that just do it for money. Most people do it because they want to help people. And I love that. So that's my favorite business quote.
I love that one. I love that quote. All right.
It's not very well known either.
No, it's not, but it is phenomenal. So I'm excited to like post it everywhere. How do you stay motivated? Because you look like you're so motivated and so much fun. How do you stay motivated?
Oh, God. Honestly, it's because I love what I do, and I've built a business around what I enjoy doing and got rid of all those things that I don't really, I mean, obviously nobody likes doing accounts and things like that. So, you know, but you have to do certain bits before you can hand it over to your accountant, unfortunately. But it's always good to have like, obviously, so anything like that I don't really love, I frame it of, if I know how my accounts is going, that actually motivates us, because obviously when I see the money coming through, it helps, as it does. But yeah, I think like because I've built it around my passions and what I enjoy, and every time something feels like a bit of a drag, I think, right, how can I change this to be something more enjoyable? How can I make it more fun? Like, what can I do in order to make it better? But yeah, if you build a business around things that you enjoy and you love, and always remember the reason why you started it. Like for me, the idea, if I won the lottery, I would still help people. I would still do what I do because I love, like when I'm talking to a client and you see that moment where realization kicks in and they start actually believing in themselves and thinking, you know what, I can do this. And when you see that look change on their faces, I'm like, oh my God, it's priceless. So when you find something you love that much, then you don't need, I just think motivation sometimes is like a false thing, because like you either want to do something or you don't. And so, do you know what? Build it around the things you want to do. And if you have to do things that you don't want to do, find a way to either outsource it or make it more fun.
Make it more fun is my saying, or give it away.
Yep.
Let it go.
Exactly.
All right. What is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
So on Instagram, I am Gina Trick strategist. So most of my stuff is on there. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. So those are the two platforms I use the most. Obviously, kind of Instagram's a little bit more fun than LinkedIn. but I do share quite a lot of my life, so people find it quite entertaining. So yeah, come and follow me on there. And if you come and follow me on Instagram and say hello and tell me that you're interested in AI, I've got a little present that you can have for free. So it's my little AI assistant called Ali, and she's an alignment assistant. So you can ask her any questions about business or life, and she will help you figure out whether it's right for you or not. And if she says like she doesn't think it's in alignment with you, she'll actually suggest some other stuff. So she's very helpful.
I love that. I love it because sometimes in this world we can't pick up and talk to our friend right away. They might be at work when we need Allie.
Yes, exactly. So she's my little AI friend, and she's very helpful. She's very friendly, and she is there 24/7 to have a chat with. And I've trained her to be very much like what I would answer things, so that she tries and help you figure out. So it is that thing, and she's not going to just go, "Oh yes, go for something." She literally is going to say if it's right or wrong for you.
All right. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience? You've given them so many tips and nuggets. I love it.
So no, like I say, just be yourselves, embrace who you are, be happy about it, always work in alignment. Like I say, if it doesn't feel right, find another way. Don't think that there's not another way to do things, and just make your business fun. Have fun in it, have some joy in your life, and you don't need to work 24/7.
I love it. Thank you so much, Gina, for being with us. You're amazing.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.